Headlines is sponsored by Wonder Cement. एक perfect शुरुआत.
Union Cabinet approves amendments to the Vivad Se Vishwas Bill. Briefing about Cabinet decisions, Union Minister Prasar Bharati says the amended bill will seek to resolve disputes worth lakhs of crores of rupees. Cabinet also approved the proposal for capital infusion and immediate release of 2,500 crore rupees for 3 public sector general insurance companies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi welcomes upcoming visit of the United States President Donald Trump to India. In a series of tweets, PM says this is a very special visit and it will go a long way in further cementing India-USA friendship, says India and USA share a common commitment to democracy and pluralism. Second batch of foreign envoys, including representatives of the European Union, are on a visit to Jammu Kashmir. 25 envoys, including those from Germany, Canada, France and Afghanistan, take a boat ride in world-famous Dal Lake. Foreign diplomats are visiting Jammu and Kashmir to witness the ground situation in the region. Indian Army to also be visiting diplomats on the security situation in Kashmir. Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal to take oath as Delhi's Chief Minister on 16th February. Newly elected AAP legislators elect Kejriwal as their leader. World Health Organization chief calls coronavirus public enemy number 1 as death toll in the outbreak crosses 1,000 mark. WHO coins the official name for the disease as COVID-19, activates the United Nations Crisis Management Team for focused response to COVID-19. Health Ministry says situation under control in India. In international news, the Lahore Anti-Terrorism Court convicts Mumbai terror attacks mastermind and Jamaat-ud-Dawa leader Hafiz Saeed in 2 terror financing cases. Court sentences Hafiz Saeed to 5.5 years of concurrent imprisonment in both the cases. The New Hampshire primary ends with a win for Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. New Hampshire voters delivered disappointing results for former Vice President Joe Biden and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, with neither crossing 15% threshold needed to receive any delegates.
Headlines was sponsored by Wonder Cement. एक perfect शुरुआत.
Namaskar, I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with our top story. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prasar Bharati briefed the media about the major cabinet decisions in New Delhi today. The minister informed that the Union Cabinet has approved the capitalization and immediate release of rupees 2,500 crore for 3 public sector general insurance companies, including National General Insurance, Oriental Insurance Company and United India Insurance Companies.
Recapitalizing the public sector insurance companies, National Insurance Company, Oriental Insurance Company and United General Insurance Companies. These are 3 general insurance companies. This time, these general insurance in the first installment tranche will get 2,500 crore rupees, so that their solvency ratio becomes acceptable and they fulfill the norms of IRDA.
And the Union Cabinet has approved the Pesticide Management Bill 2020. The bill is aimed at protecting interest of farmers by ensuring that they get safe and effective pesticides.
The Pesticide Management Bill 2020 will be introduced in this session of Parliament. This Pesticide Management Bill, today pesticide business is regulated by 1968 rules, which have become age-old and needs immediate rewriting. After taking cue from the standing committee recommendations, this new bill has been drafted, and what it will aim at to protect the interest of farmers, that he will get safe and effective pesticides.
And more on this, the Union Cabinet also approved changes in the direct tax Vivad Se Vishwas Bill 2020 with a view to increase its scope to cover litigation spending in various debt recovery tribunals.
Tax disputes इतने बढ़े हैं कि 9 लाख करोड़ रुपए की रकम उसमें विवादित है. और इसलिए बजट में विवाद से विश्वास ये नया स्कीम लाया जिसका देश भर में स्वागत हुआ। इसका एक विस्तार दायरा बढ़ाया है। अब जो डीआरटी में केसेस है वो भी आ सकेंगे। 31 मार्च तक सारे ज्यादा से ज्यादा टैक्स डिस्प्यूट खत्म हो और इसलिए 31 मार्च तक एक विशेष योजना के तहत उसमें टैक्स पेयर को बहुत आकर्षक ऑफर्स है कि वो करेगा तो उसका भी फायदा है, देश का भी फायदा है।
The cabinet has also given its nod to Major Ports Authority bill that will replace a 1963 law governing country's 12 major ports.
मेजर पोर्ट अथॉरिटी, मेजर पोर्ट्स ये अभी 1963 के कानून के तहत चल रहे हैं। वो 63 के कानून को रिप्लेस करते हुए एक मेजर पोर्ट अथॉरिटी ये एक बिल आ रहा है और इससे बंदरगाहों की मेजर पोर्ट्स की कार्यक्षमता बढ़ेगी, भारत का इस क्षेत्र में सहभाग बढ़ेगा और तेजी से विकास होगा।
Moving on, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has welcomed upcoming two-day visit of the United States President Donald Trump to India. In a tweet message, PM expressed his delight about US President Trump visit and said that this is a very special visit and it will go a long way in further cementing India-USA friendship. PM Modi further added that India and US share a common commitment to democracy and pluralism. And also, US President Donald Trump has said that he is looking forward to his first visit to India later this month and indicated that the two countries may sign a trade deal. At the invitation of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Trump is slated to travel to India on February 24th and 25th. In addition to New Delhi, he will stop in Ahmedabad in Gujarat to address a joint public meeting with PM Modi at a stadium.
I just spoke with Prime Minister Modi, and it's going to be very, I don't know who's going, but he said we will have millions and millions of people. My only problem is, so last night we probably had 40 or 50,000 people, far more than anyone else, but when we have 50,000 people nowadays, fellas, I'm not going to feel so good because he thinks we'll have 5 to 7 million people just from the airport to the new stadium. And you know it's the largest stadium in the world. He's building it now. It's almost complete. And it's the largest in the world. And he's a friend of mine. He's a great gentleman. And I look forward to going to India. So we'll be going at the end of the month.
As a part of the outreach efforts, visit of a second group of foreign heads of mission is being organized to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. The 25 foreign diplomats, including those from Germany, Canada, France and Afghanistan, is on a visit to Jammu and Kashmir. The 25 envoys took a boat ride in world-famous Dal Lake. The visiting envoys will be interacting with several delegations during their stay. The group is visiting Baramulla, Srinagar and Jammu, where they would meet representatives of the civil society, including youth from different ethnic, religious and socio-economic communities, local business and political leaders, civil administration and representatives of mainstream media. They will also receive briefing about the development programs being implemented, get assessment of the security situation and witness for themselves the progressive normalization of the situation. Well, moving on, Arvind Kejriwal has been elected as the leader of the Legislative Party during the meeting of the newly elected MLAs at the residence of Aam Aadmi Party chief and CM designate Arvind Kejriwal. He will take oath as the Chief Minister for the third time on 16th February at the historic Ramlila Maidan. Aam Aadmi Party won 62 out of the total 70 seats in the Delhi Assembly elections.
62 विधायकों ने एक स्वर से फैसला लिया कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी हमारे विधायक दल के नेता होंगे और वही दिल्ली के अगले मुख्यमंत्री होंगे। 16 फरवरी को मुख्यमंत्री जी का शपथ ग्रहण समारोह होगा, रामलीला मैदान में होगा।
President Nath today attended the Golden Jubilee celebrations of National Institute of Bank Management in Pune, Maharashtra. Addressing the event, the President said that millions of lives have been touched through direct transfer of funds under various welfare schemes. He commended the banking system in India for reaching out to every section of population and also urged banks to take proactive measures to bring greater gender parity in ownership of financial assets.
Banks are fulcrum of our economic system. The progress of the country depends on the contribution of the collective economic strength of the poor. Our banks have done a commendable job in changing banking from an elitist pursuit to a service available to common man. Millions of lives have been touched through direct transfer of funds under various welfare schemes to bank account of poor and the needy. I request banks to take proactive measures to bring greater gender parity in ownership of financial assets.
And in view of the allegations put forth by the opposition about data of the financial list of the National Register of Citizens has been made offline from its official website, the centre has responded, clarifying that the NRC data in Assam is safe, even though some technical issues were visible and which will be resolved soon. The Union Home Ministry's clarification came in view of reports that the data was not available for a couple of days, which created panic among public. Moving on, Minister of State for Home Affairs G. Kishan Reddy inaugurated the 20th International NSG Seminar with the theme of comprehending the evolving contours of terrorism and IED threat. G. Kishan Reddy said that India should work ahead in the development of IED technology.
दुनिया में किधर भी आईडी डिटेक्ट के लिए टेक्नोलॉजी मिलता है, लेने के लिए भारत सरकार तैयार है। सबसे ज़्यादा स्टार्टअप के द्वारा आईडी को डिटेक्ट करने के लिए प्रोत्साहन दे रहे। आने वाले दिन में भारत दुनिया में एक अच्छे टेक्नोलॉजी के देश होगा आईडी विषय पर। भारत सरकार ने ध्यान दिया है, जीरो कैजुअलिटी होना चाहिए आईडी के द्वारा। आईडी डिटेक्ट करने के लिए जितने भी टेक्नोलॉजी हो सकते हैं, उसमें कोई कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ नहीं होना चाहिए।
A workshop on digital radio was organized in New Delhi today. Addressing the workshop, R.S. Sharma, chairman of the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, said that private sector should also be allowed in digital radio broadcasting. He said that this needs to be done to provide diverse radio content to the people in a diverse country like India.
If you want the diversity of the content, if you want to serve such a diverse country like India, which has, multiple 22 official languages and hundreds of, these dialects, if you want them to serve multicultural, multi-cuisine, sort of ethnic, whatever, it's such a diverse country, and if you want to serve them, then I think you need many more players, and therefore we are of the view that private sector must be allowed. We are in a near future coming out with the spectrum reserve prices for FM sort of radio in the other towns of the country, and the towns which were left out, tier 2 and tier 3.
And also Prasar Bharati CEO Shashi Shekhar Vempati said that digital radio broadcasting is the need of the future, and Prasar Bharati has also started digital news service as an experiment to promote it. He said that the coming time will be of direct to mobile broadcasting.
We want to move forward on digital. So one of the steps that we recently took was that we said our transmitters on the medium wave side, which are already digital capable, for some hours of the day we will operate it in digital mode. Let's build up audience interest. And then the locations where we have more than one transmitter which is digital, at least one of them has to operate fully in digital. So that is already happening in the big cities, in Delhi, Bombay, Mumbai, Chennai and so on, Kolkata. You have one transmitter which is fully in digital mode, where we have started an experimental news service, because one of the things that struck me after taking up this job is that we just have bulletins, through the day, but we don't have a continuous news stream on radio. So we have started that. So there is AR Live 24/7, a continuous news stream, which is available on DTH, it's available on our app, and also in these digital transmitters.
So good news for the public here. To further enhance electronic toll collection, the National Highways Authority of India has decided to waive FASTag fee till February 29th. The government has rolled out the FASTag based toll collection system across more than 527 national highways in the country. Road users can visit any authorized point of sale location with a valid registration certificate of the vehicle and get an NHAI FASTag free of cost. it said. NHAI FASTags can be purchased from all national highway fee plazas, regional transport offices, common service centres, transport hubs and petrol pumps, among others. To search for the nearest NHAI FASTag point of sale locations, one may download My FASTag app or visit www.ihmcl.com or also call the 1033 NH helpline number. Moving on, Nalanda was the oldest university in India located in Rajgir district of Bihar, and its establishment is said to be of the 5th century. Now only ruins remain, but these ruins show how glorious this university was. More in this report.
The Nalanda University existed until the 12th century. In 1200 AD, Bakhtiyar Khilji, a commander of the Delhi Sultanate, demolished this university and set it on fire. The books of its fabled and formidable library were kept burning for years. Nalanda remained buried under the soil and debris until the 19th century. The Archaeological Survey of India began a systematic excavation of the place in 1915, which found 11 Bodh Viharas and 6 temples made of bricks, numerous coins, seals and pottery. Many of these artifacts are kept in a museum here. Excavation was done in an area of about 12 hectares, but there is a large area around Baragaon still buried under soil, which has not been excavated yet. Tourists are left spellbound when they visit Nalanda.
बहुत अच्छा लगा, बहुत सुना था इसके बारे में, लेकिन अब देख के तो इतना अच्छा लगा है, मन भर गया है और सबको भी आना चाहिए एक बार देखने के लिए और बहुत सारी चीज़ है जानने के लिए भी.
Nalanda is also a center of reverence for Buddhists, as it was a Buddhist educational institution. Tourists coming from Buddhist countries also pay their obeisance here. Bureau Report, DD News, Patna.
So, Mumbai attack mastermind and Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed was sentenced to 11 years in jail by an anti-terrorism court in Pakistan in 2 terror financing cases. Saeed, a UN designated terrorist whom the US has placed a USD 10 million bounty, was arrested on July 17 in the terror financing cases. He is lodged at the Lahore Scott Lakhpat jail in high security. Saeed was sentenced in 2 terror financing cases registered against him in Lahore and Gujranwala cities on the application of the Counter-Terrorism Department of Punjab Police. The court sentenced Saeed to 5.5 years and imposed a fine of Rs 15,000 in each case. The sentences of both cases will run concurrently. Moving on, the death toll in China's novel coronavirus outbreak has gone up to 1,113, with 97 new fatalities reported mostly in the worst affected Hubei province, while the confirmed cases of infection jumped to 44,653. Over 100 deaths were recorded on a single day for the first time. Hubei's Health Commission also confirmed another 1,638 new cases in the central province, where the outbreak emerged in December. There are now more than 44,200 confirmed cases across China based on previously released figures from the government. Chinese authorities dismissed 2 senior health officials from Hubei on Tuesday, where tens of millions of people have been under lockdown since late last month and tightened restrictions in its capital, Wuhan. Meanwhile, one Indian national was infected with the disease in the UAE. Health Secretary Preeti Sudhan reviewed actions and preparedness for the virus. The Health Secretary highlighted that while the situation is under control presently, states, union territories will remain alert and vigilant on a continued basis. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has said that COVID-19 would be the new official name for the deadly coronavirus that was first identified in China on December 31st. WHO chief told reporters in Geneva explained that CO stood for corona, V for virus and D for the disease. The world coronavirus refers to the group of viruses it belongs to rather than the latest strain. The WHO activated a UN crisis management team for focused response to COVID-19. WHO chief has warned that the epidemic still remains a grave threat to the world, and the researchers have been calling for an official name to avoid confusion and stigmatization of any group or the country. Another 39 people have tested positive for the coronavirus on the quarantined Diamond Princess cruise ship in Japan, as well as 1 quarantine officer, bringing the total to 175. The health ministry said that the Diamond princess was placed in quarantine for 2 weeks upon arriving in Yokohama, south of Tokyo on February 3rd after a man who disembarked in Hong Kong was diagnosed with the virus. About 3,700 people are aboard the ship, which usually has a crew of 1,100 and a passenger capacity of 2,670. The ministry said the tests are being conducted for others who are deemed to need them, and it will announce the results later. In US, a week after the US election race began, the polling moved on to New Hampshire. Voters in the northeastern state have chosen Bernie Sanders as the nominee for the 2020 presidential election race in a primary contest. Democrat Sanders narrowly won over Pete Buttigieg, who won in the Iowa caucus from where the election race began. He congratulated Sanders and called for unity within the Democratic Party as he spoke to a cheering crowd. The race now moves to the Nevada caucuses, where voting will be held on 22nd February. In the US presidential election system, the winners of the primaries are declared as nominee by both the Republican and the Democratic parties, who will then fight out in the November presidential elections. Meanwhile, Democrat presidential candidate Andrew Yang dropped out of the 2020 race after finishing well behind top-tier candidates in the Iowa caucus and New Hampshire primary. In a statement, Yang said he does not favor taking people's donations, support, time and dedication if his chances of winning or advancing towards set goals as less. The entrepreneur was regularly among the top 10 Democratic candidates, according to national polls, outclassing career politicians like California Sen. Kamala Harris and New Jersey Senator Cory Booker. Next story now, speaking on Indian players' participation in the World Kabaddi Championship in Pakistan, Union Minister for Sports and Youth Affairs Kiren Rijiju clarified the media that any Indian who is willing to play under the banner of India should get clearance first from the Sports Association.
भारत के नाम से भारत का झंडा उठा करके, भारत का जर्सी पहन करके, भारत के नाम से कोई अगर खेलता है तो उसको फेडरेशन की तरफ से परमिशन चाहिए, और अगर पाकिस्तान में भारत के नाम से खेलना है तो सरकार से परमिशन चाहिए। कोई इंडिविजुअल जा करके भारत का नाम लेकर के खेल दे तो वो ठीक नहीं है। हमने किसी कबड्डी प्लेयर को पाकिस्तान जाने का अनुमति नहीं दिया है। अगर कोई भारत का नाम लेकर के कोई खेला या हमारा जर्सी पहना, हमारा फ्लैग को यूज़ किया, तो हम कबड्डी एसोसिएशन को बताएंगे कि कार्रवाई करो। आम नागरिक अगर जाते हैं, कुछ करते हैं, तो हम उसको रोक नहीं सकते हैं ना। देखिए, हम नियम से चलते हैं और स्पोर्ट्स का अपना एक गवर्नेंस है, ओलंपिक चार्टर है, उसके हिसाब से चलते हैं।
India's soft power is apparent in Portugal's capital Lisbon. In Europe, Indian classical dance forms have been embraced by the Portuguese. Music too connects the people of India and Portugal. Our correspondent Munmun Bhattacharya files this report from Lisbon.
The beats of Indian classical music in a European city. A Kathak performance by a troupe of Portuguese dancers. The dance form has travelled afar from Indian shores and acts as a cultural bridge between Indian and Portuguese communities.
I actually became curious about Indian dance in general. It started with Bollywood, which is the most accessible means of seeing Indian dance. But then I noticed several performances by Kathak artists, and I started searching for Kathak lessons here in Portugal, and I was lucky enough to be living here in Lisbon and having our teacher was giving classes here.
Bharatnatyam too has a following in Portugal. Tarika Valli, a Portuguese, is a Bharatnatyam teacher in Lisbon. Having learnt the dance form from an Indian guru in Paris, she has been teaching it for the last 30 years now.
Bharatanatyam is having such a beauty, first of all, naturally, but more than that, it is a spiritual way of the expression which is going inside the style. I loved, and also the lines, the geometry, the footwork. There is the point of being a dancer and an actor at the same time. I was really appreciating, plus the spiritual way of the dance. I think it's a very complete discipline.
The embrace of Bharatanatyam and Kathak dances in far-off Portugal manifest Indian culture's global character. Art and culture have always been a binding force between countries. They form the glue that connects the people of India and Portugal as well. Portuguese nationals are learning Indian traditional dance forms and folk dances. Some have embraced Bollywood too. These dance forms are part of a vibrant cultural bouquet that has the imprint of India on it in Portugal. Not just dance, but music too forms a lasting bond between India and Portugal. Portuguese flutist Rao Cao plays the Indian bansuri. A musician who is keeping the musical bond between India and Portugal alive and thriving through his frequent visits to India to perform, Rao Cao is a Portuguese national but an Indian by heart.
Influence of India became very strong to me because of the tradition that is there in the flute playing, in bamboo flute, which is bansuri. And I was studying with Raghunath Sheth, a great master of flute. It was in me from the beginning, and it kind of grew. And I became very much attached to Indian music.
As the world commemorates 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, Rao Cao's flute has become a medium for Portugal to pay tribute to the Mahatma.
Well, that's all we have on this news bulletin. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.